Ice-T made the way.
What's up, y'all? We back again, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't get rid of us like that, man. It's another episode 3, man, of DJ and a rapper, man. He the DJ.
Absolutely.
And I'm the rapper. Man, we came today, man. We are in Alberta Park in Northeast Portland. Alberta Park is, way before like the gentrification and all that. This was pretty much a predominantly black neighborhood. A lot of us grew up in this park, man, and so we wanted to just kind of show you a couple of our parks and everything, because in relationship to hip-hop, that's where hip-hop started, man. It started out in the park, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
In the Bronx, New York, Kool Herc, they come and pull up the light poles and stuff, man, and get the plugging in the speaker systems and everything and be rocking, man. So we thought it was cool to shoot this in the park, man. You lived over here too, didn't you?
Well, I grew up over here, man.
Yeah.
This park, Alberta Park, I got free lunches, man, at this park, man. This is the park that I grew up in this neighborhood. Right over here, they used to have free lunches for us in the summertime, man.
Right.
Vernon Elementary School is right across the street. I went to elementary school at Vernon from 1st grade to 5th grade.
Yeah.
I grew up right down the street here on 24th and Killingsworth.
Yeah.
That's where I
What street was your dad on? Were you 25th?
24th and Killingsworth,
24th,
right there
yeah.
on the corner over there.
Yeah, so I grew up around the corner too. Well, I didn't grow up, but I stayed there for a few years on 23rd and Emerson.
Yeah.
And man, they used to go down over here back in the days, man.
In a way, but see, this is like I was gonna say, Alberta, how it worked, man, as far as my memory is, every summer different parks that have different shit going on.
Yeah.
Sometimes this park, I remember my brother got into a fight with this cat at this park over basketball before it was gangs and all that. See, this is before it was gangs, man. You had Woodlawn Park, you had Peninsula Park, you had Irvington Park, Alberta Park, man. And little parks here and there. But yeah, these was the predominant black parks, man. Unthank Park, excuse me. I cannot forget Unthank Park before SCI.
Yeah.
Here, sometimes it'll be at Irvington, sometimes it'll be at Woodlawn, and they'll be out there shooting traps. And yeah, man, it used to be, it was a different type of wild. They didn't used to use guns back. You had to fight back then. So, and in this park though, actually, man, just looking at real, Alberta Park ain't the hardest park, man. This neighborhood ain't the hardest neighborhood. This is where we grew up though. We kind of grew up on some Leave It to Beaver type shit. Everybody, owned their own house, and we was kids, and we'd come out, go down to the baseball field and be playing football. It used to be Nate Stevens, just all the kids from the neighborhood used to be up there playing football, play basketball, gambling on this court for $, you know what I mean? Playing crunch. Yeah, this is it.
Right there.
This is home.
Right there, block up, you got Brandell's Food Store.
Randall's, yeah, used to be there, yeah.
When you go in, you get some Frio, all that stuff. And then right across the street was One Stop record shop.
Absolutely.
So I remember, when I was living here, I was 13. Just probably like about a year after I met you. I met you in middle school.
Yeah.
Well, I was already going to Grant High School when I was living here.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think I was like 13, freshman year. I remember I walked from 23rd right there here to go to One Stop. And I think the first thing that I bought, like with my own money, man, I bought the cassette tape to the single of Slick Rick and Teenage Love. Oh, man. Hey, if you don't know nothing about that Teenage Love, go look up that Slick Rick, Teenage Love. I got a chance to meet Slick Rick a couple years ago, man.
Any true hip-hop head gotta know about Slick Rick. Better know about the legend. He's a legend. He's a pioneer.
Yeah, straight pioneer in the business, man. But that was like the first, man, I couldn't wait to get home and unwrap that, man. I bumped that all day, man. The Teenage Love, man. That's like really around the time when hip hop really, I was already into it before, but that's when I started writing and doing all this stuff.
And it was making its transition though. Then you see what I'm saying? It was transitioning because at that time N.W.A had came out. DJ Quick had came out. And it was transitioning over to, they tried to label and brand it as reality rap, but they didn't label it gangster rap, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's the, Too Short, 415, them individuals was kind of groundbreaking, like setting the how E40 is back there too. You gotta count it.
Oh, yeah.
West Side came out in the 90s, bro.
Man, I listened to, like I said, we 50 years old, man. The first time I heard E40 was Mr. Flamboyant. I think I was 17 years old, man. And I used to doing some. One thing that's crazy about N.W.A, because before N.W.A really came out, I think about the time N.W.A came out, that's when it started transitioning to more like the hard rap. I mean, you had before that, you had like Philadelphia, Schoolie D, you know what I'm saying? They say Schoolie D is like the originator of Gangsta Rap before like N.W.A and stuff like that, but it got real hard when N.W.A came out. But I ain't gonna lie, man, it was freshman year, and it was hard for me to accept it because I was so used to, the flashy dance clothes. Everybody, hip hop was a lot of dancing and stuff, you know what I'm saying? A lot of dancing, a lot of fun rap. It wasn't really, fun. It was either like teaching you something or having some good fun, man. Some Brother MC, my Adidas, stuff like that.
Rakim, Eric B. and Rakim, see that I ain't no joke, bro. See, when that came out, but see, that was you on the precipice though, right there, where you still had that New York trying to hold on.
Right.
But then, you transitioning over.
That's when the West came in.
Right.
When N.W.A came.
Eric B. them still though, they had the chains, they had the Louis, not Louis, but the Gucci joint by your boy
Dapper Dan.
Yeah, by Dapper Dan, you see what I'm saying? So, we were still fashionable, but you was transitioning over to that West Coast sound, man. It took over.
Yeah.
It broke ground. That's what happened.
It was hard for me because I remember walking down freshman year at Grand High School and somebody walked by me, they was like, man, you heard that new N.W.A? And I remember, I ain't gonna lie, man, I was kind of upset because that's when it was changing. Hip hop was changing for me.
Yep.
And I wasn't ready to accept that at that point.
Right.
Because it was way different. It was like, it wasn't the same kind of hip hop. Even though we from the West Coast, East Coast is where hip hop started.
H.T. made the wave.
Where I was like, okay, I can accept it now. And it started coming out a lot more. And that was way before the South even got into the South. It's popping in hip hop. The South wasn't always popping in hip hop.
Well, you did have Scarface now. You had the Ghetto Boys, and the Ghetto Boys broke ground. The Ghetto Boys and Scarface are pioneers.
That was around the same time though, wasn't it?
It's all in the same time where N.W.A, 415, DJ Quick,
got Sunny on it.
Just that whole group of rappers.
Well, I think they came out around that time, but I don't really, even though they dope as hell, I don't think the South was really totally respected yet.
No, not at
now.
all.
But now the South is where you go to break a record. If you want to break a record, you go to Atlanta. That's where you break it. You know what I mean? And so, they came up, but it was like all I knew was East Coast hip hop.
Yeah.
That's all I knew, man.
I remember the Beastie Boys, Run DMC, Davy D, they performed at the Coliseum.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That, the East Coast was still holding on, man. You know what I mean? They was, and they was shooting back like, man, we ain't on that. But you couldn't deny, man, that West Coast sound, everything that, happened with that, it broke ground. They was talking about a different thing. They was vibrating something else, and it was, hey, man, that's how hip hop is. You see what I'm saying? It's like Sinners, man. It goes to show how all this shit is connected. You know what I mean?
Right.
Absolutely.
Man.
Yeah, so shit, man. And, that's the transition. And so you transition to that West Coast sound, and man.
Yeah, it was, man. We brought it hard, man. We
You know, they brought that, you know, I mean, and they from LA, Hollywood. So,
Yeah.
you know, they got the media behind them. And it's, you know, it's a gift and a curse. You know, you got to be careful with it. Like, some people might say, yeah, y'all, you know, owe me this. Ice-T might be saying, yeah, I'm the one that created this. Okay, well, you get some of the blame too.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? DJ Quick, you know, he's a groundbreaking artist.
Man, one of the best producers in the world.
Absolutely,
Ever.
but he broke ground in this fashion. He was the first person to start banging on wax. But his underground tape,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Which brought, you know, the Bloods and the Crips.
Yeah.
You know, that was some groundbreaking shit. You know,
Right.
all these is phenomenons that was going on in the time, and it set a path. You had, you know, Compton's Most Wanted. You had,
Man, Compton Most
you know what I
Wanted.
mean? MPA, Blue Tape, man. Man.
That was dope.
Come on, man.
When I first heard that,
One time gal for the month. People
Man.
don't say that, you know?
it was
They broke ground. These is groundbreaking.
It's a Compton,
Battle Ram,
man.
Toddy T, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a
Man.
Compton late night hype. You know,
oh yeah.
one time gal for them up, you know what I mean? Just man, that doom.
Hey, hi.
Doom.
What he say?
That
He
was
used
ridiculous.
to tell every song. Hey, hi.
Hey, Pike.
Little
Yeah.
Huckleberry. Little Huckleberry.
Yeah, see that? I mean, that
Yeah.
hip hop, man. And
I wasn't ready for it, man. Freshman year, man. When I first heard that, man, I was like, nah, man, that ain't what really hip hop is to me. But like
Yeah.
I said, it didn't take me long before I caught on, and I started realizing, you know, that's where we at. We on the West Coast, you know. But like I said in the previous video, the West Coast is California, Oregon, and Washington. So, but I think Oregon, like Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, Washington, are very similar.
we're the same.
That's like a sister city to us. Seattle, like a sister city to us, man. It's like
Yeah, we sister states.
about the same population. You know what I'm saying? About the same amount of black folks.
A little more. They got
You
a little
know.
bit more black people than us. I
Yeah.
think in the whole state they might have like 5% or some shit. We only got barely maybe 1.9, but let's just lean 2. You know,
we up there now. We more like a 7.
and maybe in Portland,
Yeah.
but not in the whole state.
No, not in the whole state.
No,
I think
not
it's
in the
like
whole
3% in the whole state, but in Portland it's like 7%.